Hello, dear friends. Welcome to Kardec Radio, where we're here to nourish our souls. I'm Norah, the host of this program, Thoughts by Joanna de Angelis and Divaldo Franco. This amazing book. The messages are powerful, and if we practice all of these messages, friends, if we do a New Year's resolution, Happy New Year, friends, it's a new year. And if we were to start day one and keep count, friends, and look back at how much we've grown just through this book, it would be incredible having the opportunity to share these lessons with you. Firsthand experience, I have seen how much my decisions, especially in challenging times, have improved. They're not perfect, none of us are, friends, but I see a huge difference. Really, friends, taking this time to share with you something, right? When something good happens to us, we just want to share. So, friends, in that perspective, I invite you to be very proactive, friends, especially the New Year's, right? With all of our resolutions and things that are pending and going to continue, and we're closing some things up, right? Where are our intentions and what are we doing? What kind of literature and what kind of platforms are we using to help us along the way? And today's message has a lot to do with that because Joanna and Divaldo, they're really in there for us. They're really trying to help us to grow. Life is challenging. None of us, friends, are immune from these challenges. But when it comes down to it, we have something. We have gifts. And today's message is none other something that we can all benefit from. Discernment. Let us see what Joanna and Divaldo wants us to learn today from this. And most importantly, let us align to our mentors to see what message we need to take for our own lives and our own paths, friends. Here we go. Discernment results from practicing the art of thinking, which should grow properly, providing the individual with the perception of being and non being, of right and wrong, of what is just and what is abominable. Friends, so my first thought, and I'm not sure if maybe we're on the same page. I'm sitting here thinking, gosh, when we think of thinking, right? We have our brains and various resources will tell us, right? Every brain has different mechanisms. We do know, research shows, prefrontal cortex, that's a huge one. It helps to sort of balance our decision making. So the first question, as we're kind of navigating this discernment, this thinking, is wait a minute, what do you mean by the art of thinking? Are we solely relying on the biology of thinking? Because with the right mechanisms, right, with the right biology, we sort of all are set to be in this mindset. However, this idea of art of thinking is already holding us even more accountable, meaning we're going to have to make choices, right? So there are things that need to be cultivated with care and dedication to help us grow and understand and sort of develop this perception. And in that sense, it's almost like we're practicing this art of thinking, meaning I'm being proactive. So discernment, as it's a gift of the soul, right? But like all gifts, it requires nurturing and effort to blossom. So first step, self-awareness. It means, can I recognize my thoughts? Am I planting in fertile soil of my consciousness? Where am I with this? By consciously choosing what we allow to grow, we shape our character, our actions, and ultimately our destiny. And this puts a lot of thought for us, right? Because going back to this idea, yes, our brains are biologically wired, and we have many ways that we have a lot of help for this. But we also have the spiritual responsibility, as Joanna and Divaldo are helping us, as we're shaping this consciousness, as we're shaping our decisions in allowing discernment to come in, friends. So in the latter spiritist teachings, the art of thinking is not just this intellectual exercise right? Like we've placed this in our study. But it is also a spiritual practice. It means it's aligning, right? Or involves aligning our thoughts with the divine principles, seeking truth with humility, and striving for clarity amidst the noise of the world. So this process transforms us. It helps us to discern the essence of things rather than the mere appearances. So one more time, with discernment. And it's a process that transforms us. It helps us discern the essence of things rather than the mere appearances. This is very, very deep. So just to keep things with within the time frame, there are maybe three things that we can cultivate, right, as three fundamental habits. New year, new me, right, friends? So this is a good time to be asking ourselves, what is my part in this? What am I going to do to keep shaping who I am? One thing that could really be pivotal in these fundamental habits is reflection, right? We need to take time to examine our thoughts and motives. So are they aligned with love and service, or are they tainted by selfishness or fear? So this art or of reflection allows us to recalibrate our intentions and stay on the path of righteousness. Friends, not too long ago, I had a very personal, difficult situation happen. My gosh, my thoughts were going all over the place. Oh my gosh, I thought it was the end of the world, and it was very, very difficult. I went back to Joanna's messages because this book is incredible. And I remember that just going back to the messages and thinking about all the studies we've done, this art or this habit of reflection, it evoked in me this profound student, right, in search of answers within myself. And the first thing was to really analyze those thoughts. I had choices to make. I was in pain, I hurt, I was possibly in shock, but where were my thoughts at that time? And I had to make some difficult choices, very difficult choices, healing through this experience, but at the same time grateful that this too was pivotal, right? To remind me that yes, things happen, circumstances will come, but I have a beautiful, like we all do, we all have this beautiful gift to be able to reflect and to study, right? The pursuit of knowledge, we know spiritist principles, right? Through Allan Kardec, it gives us the tools to understand life's challenges and blessings. It sharpens our ability to distinguish the transient from the eternal, the material from the spiritual. In this particular challenge that I'm still going through it, friends, right? A big part of me after doing this reflection, this analysis, next, what books have I studied? Where does that come in? Friends, it was a life changer because when we are familiar, when we study, when we open those books, right? It's almost like the mentors can use that as a tool to send us a beautiful message. And the third fundamental habit, friends, is that prayer. Through sincere connection with the divine, we invite inspiration and guidance, strengthening our ability to see clearly and to choose wisely. So prayer aligns us with these higher vibrations of love and peace, anchors in moments of doubt. And I don't know, friends, I'm going to be a little bit vulnerable and just sort of use this experience to kind of bring in this idea of prayer, because in the beginning stages of the news that I received, after reflecting and trying to study, I knew the prayer was important. And it was not easy, friends. The beginning prayers were more like, why? And oh my God. And the world is this, nobody loves me. But I kept pushing through, kept pushing through. About 2 weeks later, friends, I started to see, right, that the prayers began to change. So why do I share this? Because let's not get discouraged If we are in the middle of a challenge, the reflection, the study, and the prayer are not going to come in and be like, oh, hi. It's going to take awareness and it's going to take a lot of work. But if we are persistent, right, this is kind of what Joanna is saying. Oh my gosh, when we sort of come at the end, or as we're coming and we're really starting to pay attention, it works. So we cannot get discouraged. In the beginning, our thoughts are, they're a little negative or they're all over the place. And we can't even focus on opening a spiritist book and much less pray. Maybe we still desire, okay, it's okay. But we have to continue. We have to trust the process. To me, that is a very authentic way, friends, to share this from my experiences, and to be very human and vulnerable, because at the end of the day, that's what Joanna is saying, right? We have our human experience and we have these tools, but they're not going to be perfect the first time. We are refining them, and it's okay in the beginning, but it's worth it, friends, because then we grow from them, right? So it's kind of like I was saying, friends, it's just not like, oh, I'm gonna make a choice. We have to be in this mind frame. It's about choosing wisdom, compassion, accountability. It's something that allows us to see beyond the illusions of the world, to embrace, right, the eternal truths of love, justice, and charity. So this art of discernment, it's a journey. It's not a destination. It's a skill that is refined as we navigate life challenges, guided by the light of the spirit principles, right? And this is beautiful because we're not alone. And it's, I mean, I don't know if some of you have been in this situation. I know I have friends, and again, I'm being vulnerable because sometimes it seems like when we're at our most lowest, like, oh, nobody's helping us. But it's always good to remind ourselves that it's quite the opposite. It really is when we think that's it, right? We really do have this light, our mentors, right? Jesus and all these other amazing beings that are at our side. But when we're developing this discernment, these habits, these practices, this art, we can feel that, friends. The more we practice, the more we're able to trust, and let's not give up, because it is a practice. So let us think, when we practice something in the beginning, it's going to be tough, but then we get better at it, right, friends? So we start to transform our lives, not just ours though, but think about this, friends. We transform those around us, contributing to the collective evolution of humanity, which is really the whole idea here too, friends. And there's a lot of research, right? The physics already, quantum physics already showing how we're all entangled, we're all connected. So yes, our vibration does affect others around us. So this even makes it more critical for us to be working on this, right? Now, in the book Our Daily Bread, chapter 15, Thoughts. Oh my gosh, it's beautiful, totally recommended. But we get this gospel view from this idea of the thinking. It says, or Shikol through Emmanuel, share with us. The gospel lays out the generous course for the human mind to renew itself on the paths of higher spirituality, proclaiming the need for such a transformation on the way to higher realms. There it is. So it's a path, right? And we have the Gospels to help us. And then they continue. Renewing one's thoughts is not as easy as it may appear at first glance. It demands a large capacity for self-denial and profound self-control, qualities that humans cannot achieve without work and heartfelt sacrifice. And I admit, friends, in this experience that I went through, it was not easy. And that's okay. Because in that moment of where I found myself, I start, and I'm sort of reflecting too back, how beautiful it was in that whole healing process to keep going, to keep on. Why? Because none of us are immune and we're not alone. We know from our studies, from our experiences, from our relationships, that we're all going through something, and that in itself is already molding those thoughts. As they continue in this chapter, to think is to create. So we have choices, right? In all the circumstances, but it is especially in the challenges. Okay, what am I going to create? What is this? What am I wanting to manifest, right? We use that word so much. There's so much research that it is powerful. Thoughts are powerful. And that goes beyond the biological mechanisms of us. It is about our daily choices, our conscious, our awareness, right? And to want to do it. This chapter, friends, starts with a beautiful verse from the Bible by Paul, Philippians 4:8. As for the rest, my brothers, everything that is true, everything that is honest, everything that is just, everything that is pure, everything that is lovely, everything that is admirable, if there is anything virtuous and praiseworthy, think on this. Paul, beautiful. Here we have so much research, so many podcasts, videos that talk about our mindset and where we need to be. And here we have Paul, centuries ago, right? Sharing with us the importance of our thoughts and how to build them and how to not give up. And the beautiful thing is to know, right? To have an idea of where we need to navigate. So friends, with this we end. May we, through our thoughts, actions, and intentions, reflect the divine wisdom within us and strive always to discern and act upon what is right and just. It's almost like an affirmation for us to keep on. So, as this first message of year 2025, it is a huge blessing, not a coincidence, right? That we started with that message, because what a way to remind ourselves to not give up, to, yes, accept our human experience, but to have sort of like the end in mind. We know we're spiritual beings. We know we have goals, right, to achieve. And so in our pace, within our space, in our resources, friends, we cannot give up. We got to shape our thoughts, work with them. It's okay if in the beginning it's a little bit rough. It's okay. Let's trust the process. Let's keep on. What's most important, friends? Joanna and Divaldo will be telling us, let's not give up, because once we build this art of thinking or this art of discernment, it's going to be a beautiful tool that will guide us. Friends, that is today's message. Once again, Happy New Year. May many blessings of abundance and all the spiritual gifts come to us, friends. Until next week, same time, same place. And let us remember that we are loved. Bye, friends.